Now let's move on to the engine compartment. On our way, we want to point out the cutout cock for the horn. It's located down and to the right as you enter the engine compartment. Let's start with the power generation equipment. Power is generated by the alternator that consists of 3 alternator compartments: the traction alternator, the auxiliary alternator, and the head-end power alternator that are driven by the same shaft. The 3-phase alternating current from the traction alternator is sent directly to the power rectifiers, where it is converted into direct current for the traction motors. The 3-phase alternating current from the auxiliary alternator operates blowers and fans and provides battery charging and excitation. The 3-phase alternating current from the head-end power alternator supplies power to the train. The engine start station is on the engineer's side of the locomotive next to the traction alternator. It contains the following pressure gauges: fuel oil, turbo air, and lube oil. A 3-position fuel prime engine start switch and an engine stop switch are on the same panel. Before starting the diesel engine, check all fluid levels and follow all railroad operating and safety procedures. After making certain that the battery switch is closed, that the MU push button is in run, that the BCPB has been pressed, that the EC switch is in the start position, and that all of the proper breakers are on in the operator's cab, the engine may be started. Move the fuel prime engine start switch to the prime position. Observe the fuel flow sight glass to make sure it is free of bubbles. The fuel pressure should rise to about 55 psi. After the pressure stabilizes, move the switch to the start position. After a 3 to 5 second pause, the engine begins to rotate. Hold the switch in the start position until the engine is running. With electronic fuel injection, there is no lay shaft. The fuel is metered automatically by computers in the EFI control system. Should you need to shut down the diesel engine, press the engine stop push button. The 7FDL diesel engine can produce up to 4,250 horsepower. Let's look at some of its many components. A single turbocharger mounted on top of the diesel engine is driven by the engine exhaust gases. It provides compressed air to the cylinders. 2 intercoolers lower the temperature of the intake air as it flows from the turbocharger. The computer-controlled electronic fuel injection has eliminated the need for a rack, its associated linkage, a governor, and a lay shaft. Proper engine operation requires a reliable lubricating oil system. The diesel engine oil level can be checked with a dipstick located on either side of the diesel engine. Next to the dipstick is the oil fill, used for adding oil. The engine must be idling for proper oil level readings. Oil pressure is monitored by the lube oil pressure sensor, and diesel speed is controlled to prevent damage. The pressure inside the crankcase is monitored by the crankcase overpressure sensor, COP. If the sensor detects an overpressure condition, a signal is sent and the diesel engine goes to idle. The cooling water system has a 210-gallon capacity water tank. Tank level can be determined by the water level sight glass. The tank can be filled through the radiator fill fitting when the radiator fill valve is in the open position. You must relieve pressure in the cooling system before adding water by opening the pressure relief valve. Caution: if the pressure cap must be opened, shut down the engine and relieve any pressure through the pressure relief valve. The cooling system is monitored by the engine water temperature sensor, EWT. It sends water temperature data to the aux controller, where it's used to determine radiator fan speed control and other functions. A drain valve in the sump allows for system draining. The Combustion Air System delivers cool, clean air to the power assemblies for combustion. The filtration system consists of V-screens, spin filters, and baggy filters. Summer-winter doors are manually operated to provide air from the engine compartment when air intakes are blocked with ice or snow. Caution: summer-winter doors must remain closed when the outside temperature is above freezing. An engine air filter pressure switch, EFPS, monitors the condition of the baggy filters. It sends a signal to the cab controller. The pressure and temperature of the intake air is monitored by the manifold air temperature sensor and the manifold air pressure sensor. The fuel oil system delivers diesel fuel to each power assembly. Under normal operation, fuel is drawn from the tank through a preheater and its automatic temperature valve by the fuel transfer pump. It is sent through the fuel filter. From the filter, the fuel goes to the supply lines to the high-pressure pump on each cylinder. Fuel flow control valves are located on either side of the engine cab. A fire extinguisher is also located in the engine cab. Those are the engine compartment components.